a stable income, the perfect job, and a cozy flat. All these are what most people aim for in their lives. However, with soaring property prices, what was once seen as achievable if you worked hard enough now seems to be nothing more than just a dream. As shown in the recent social movement, it is evident that the matter has further fueled anti-government sentiment among citizens, young people in particular. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the issue. Should university and secondary students apply for highly demanded public rental housing? Public rental housing units, or PRHs, are precious resources which should be reserved in principle for the underprivileged in society. Currently, there are more than 130,000 people on the waiting list for PRH units, most of whom have heavy financial burdens or are elderly who cannot make their own living. In contrast, young and able-minded students have the time and ability to build their own careers or at least support their own lives with more opportunities. Students flocking to apply for PRH units will only lengthen the 3-year wait for those in true, desperate need of a safe and stable living environment. In addition, more students applying for PRH units will further pressurize the government's welfare system. The PRH scheme is part of the government's social security net, aiming to provide not only affordable housing, but also to allow easier identification of those in need of further assistance and protection. With delays in obtaining PRH units, desperate applicants may experience deterioration in financial conditions and living conditions, while authorities may have to allocate more resources for identifying those in distress. Having said that, students in need should not be blamed for trying to secure a home for themselves in the midst of rising property prices and land shortages. In fact, it is time for the government to further step up the pace in developing new housing units and lowering property prices through the use of brown land, the conversion of abandoned industrial buildings into public housing estates, and further its intervention in the property market, so as to provide more affordable housing for the general public, eventually bringing stability and more opportunities to society. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Mr. Hodgman will now ask you a question relating to your speech. You will answer the question after it has been asked, and you'll have 1 minute to do so. Mr. Hodgman, please.
Many young people who are unable to afford to buy or even rent their own homes continue to live with their parents. Do you think this is a positive or negative development, and explain why?
Thank you for your question. Personally, I believe that this is a positive development, as living together with your parents is not necessarily a bad thing. You may have arguments, you may have different views, but then after all, you're one happy family living under the same roof. You can share your feelings freely, you can express your opinions freely, and of course, strengthen that family bonding, which you won't have if you live alone. Yes, therefore I think that it is a positive development. Thank you.
Thank you. A second question will now be asked by Mrs. Snow. Again, the bell will ring right after the question, and you may then respond. Mrs. Snow, please.
Time is such a valuable commodity nowadays. If there were 30 hours in a day instead of 24, how would you spend those additional 6 hours?
Thank you for your question. This is quite interesting. If I had that additional 6 hours, I would probably spend more time with my family, my brother, my parents. After all, my brother is busy studying in university. My parents both have to work, and I homeworks and projects. And that 6 hours will be a valuable asset for me to try to spend more time with them, understand them more, and possibly, probably improve my relationships with my elder brother. Yeah, thank you.